I want to talk to you specifically. Yes, you. Not everyone. You who have been watching AI YouTube content for months now, maybe longer, and still has not started. The person who keeps thinking, I will figure it out when I have more time, when I have more knowledge, or when I feel more confident. I know what is actually stopping you. It is not time, it is not knowledge, and definitely it is not confidence. What is stopping you is fear. The fear that you have already missed it. The fear that this thing called AI is for younger people. The fear that if you try and fail, it will confirm something that you have been secretly worried about. I had that fear too. And I still do. And this video is me passing along that thing that allowed me to get through past that fear. Let me tell you something about the fear of the unknown, because I think we need to name it properly before we can even move past it. When I first started hearing about tools where you can literally describe what you want and watch it appear on screen, a working app, a website, a system, my immediate reaction was not excitement. It was closer to something like a paralysis. And I have been thinking of trying it for almost a year now. A full year of watching, studying, reading, saving thread, and not actually doing it. And I know exactly why. Because starting means that you might fail. And when you are in your 40s, you have already failed at a lot of things that mattered. And that is why you know what failure costs. When you were 22, a failure was just part of learning. But now, when you fail, it feels like evidence that maybe we're past that window. You know, that kind of thing. That thought, that quiet background thought is what keeps many of us stuck. And I am here to tell you directly that it is a lie. A very convincing and a very understandable lie, but still a lie. So here's what actually happened for me. I had friends, genuinely generous people who knew what I was interested in, who saw my curiosity, and who just kept saying, just try it. Just try it. Just try it. Like, they really set and carved the time out of their busy schedules to give me a call, despite the difference in time zones, to sit with me and guide me into starting. And when I had questions, they just said, just try it. They shared what they knew without making me feel behind about asking. They answered my questions. They celebrated my wins. And when the first thing I actually built worked, they celebrated it. And that changed everything. Because here's the truth about starting something that is related to AI. You do not need a course. You don't need a course. You don't need a certification. You do not even need a laptop if you just wanted to start. What you need is someone to tell you that it is possible and for you to have a reason to believe them. And now, if you are watching this, I am trying to be that person for you today. I want you to know that the projects I have built since I started, I am bringing all of it in this channel. Every experiment, every failure, everything that actually worked. Because that is the whole point of never stop learning. So now, the title of this video is about AI starter kit for the 40-ish. But before I get into the 3 layers of the starter pack, I need to say this clearly because I think a lot of people do not realize it. You do not need a laptop to start. You do not need a desktop. You do not need any special equipment either. You just need to pick up your phone, go to your App Store, Google Play, and download ChatGPT. Create a free account. And that is it. That is your starting point. Everything I am about to describe works on a phone. Some tools work better on a laptop eventually, but none of them require one to begin. The barrier to entry to AI in 2026 is a Wi-Fi connection and 5 minutes. So if you're watching this and you are thinking that you are not set up yet, I'm telling you that you are. So right now, let's go. Before I give you any tool, I need to tell you something that most AI content never says. Something that completely reframes where you stand. Yes, you. My 40-ish people, because you are not actually behind. In fact, for my people who are in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, even or 60s, you're actually very much loaded. And here's what I mean. When a 24-year-old picks up an AI tool, they move very fast. They're not afraid of technology. They iterate quickly. And that is real. But they are running ideas through a filter that has not been tested yet. Most of them do not know what a real client needs versus what a client thinks they need. They do not know what failure at scale looks like. And they do not know what good looks like from actually seeing years of both good and bad output side by side. But you do. You have made expensive mistakes and you survived them. You have worked with difficult people and you figured out how to get things done anyway. You have seen promising things fall apart and understood the reason why. You have developed taste. And that is the ability to look at an output and say that this is wrong, and this is why, and here is what it actually should be. And that judgment, that is not a small thing. It is the most important thing because AI can generate anything. The question is this actually good? Does this actually solve a problem? Is this what the person on the other end actually needs? Answering those questions correctly requires experience, and you have that experience. And I also want us to have an honest conversation about the very significant topic of AI and job. I do not have hard data on this, and this is what I am observing and what I think worth taking seriously. AI is already replacing certain types of tasks. AI is already replacing certain types of work. Not whole profession, not in a dramatic way that people feel, but specific tasks within profession that humans used to do are now outsourced and are performed even better by AI. Here's an example of from someone I know, and I had a talk with a friend. And this is actually true. So there's this team of software designers. They do the architecture, they do the planning, the designing, the user experience, how the software should work, what is expected, the design. What they do not do is to code. They don't know how to code themselves. And that is why they outsourced. They outsourced the actual development to teams overseas around Southeast Asia called the Philippines. And that outsourcing relationship has been running for years, even decades. But here's what happened recently. Now they're slowly removing the outsourcing. They no longer are outsourcing the coding anymore. Not because they hire developers, but because AI writes the code. They describe what they want, they review the output, and with their design judgment, they can give feedback and they get a working software back fast. The loop that used to require another team at a different part of the globe now closes internally. And that is real. And that is happening. And if your work sits on the execution side of that equation, if you are doing the task but not making the judgment about what the task should be, I think that it is worth paying attention to. But here's another side of the story. The designers in the example, they are more powerful than they have ever been because they can see their vision come to reality fast. With more iterations, their experience and judgment matters more, not less. AI needs someone who knows what good looks like in order to be directed. The people most at risk from AI are those doing execution without judgment. The people most empowered by AI are those with deep experience and high standards who can now do things they cannot do before. And that second, that is you. Okay, so thinking of starting with AI, to make it simple, I'm going to assume that you have no prior experience of using AI. So this starter kit has 3 foundations, 3 layers, and layer 1 is ChatGPT. So some of you may have already tried it. You have made an account, you have signed up, you have used it for a couple of times, and then you quietly stop. And that is normal. Most people use it like a search engine. They ask questions, they get answers, and then they move on. And at that level, it is all right. It is fine, but it is not yet impressive. The thing that changes in everything is context. Do not say, write me an email. Say, I need to follow up a client who has gone quiet for 3 weeks. Our project is behind schedule. I want to be honest about the delay without being defensive. I want to reestablish momentum. My previous message said this. And when you do that, that type of context is what actually produces something that is useful. You can use it for work that drains you, but does not require your best thinking, like reports, summaries, first drafts. Use it to learn things faster. And any course could, because it can adapt to your own level. Use it as a thinking or a sparring partner when you're working through a decision. Do not just follow whatever it says or believe whatever it spouts. Challenge it or make it challenge you. Challenge your thought. Challenge your decisions. Look into the gaps into your thinking. Make it your sparring partner. And all you need is a free account. Download it in your phone. Link in the description. Next layer, the upgrade. So layer 2 is Claude. And I'm going to be transparent. This is the tool that I'm most actively exploring myself right now. I'm not pretending that I have mastered it. I just signed up for a Claude account this weekend. In the past 3 years, I've only been using ChatGPT. And for those projects that I have built, I have been using OpenAI Codex. And I'm about to get to explore the differences between its 3 models, the chat, the co-work, and code. I think there's a lot of videos right now, especially with the coming of Claude co-work and Claude code. There's a lot of things, and I cannot say anything about that because I haven't tried it yet. But what Claude is known for is for writing like a real person wrote it. So if you have used AI for writing and thought, this is good, but it doesn't sound like me, it's kind of robotic, well, Claude tends to close that gap. And it is also exceptional when it comes to reading long documents and pulling out what actually matters. So for anyone who are in their 40s who communicates professionally, client proposals, reports, important emails, anything where your voice and credibility are on the line, Claude is worth adding once you're comfortable with ChatGPT. Both are $20 a month for the paid version and both work on your phone. So link in the description. Now, the third layer, and this is the wow moment. And maybe for this layer, you might actually need to do this on a computer and not on a phone. I haven't tried Claude Code, but for this, I think you might definitely need a computer and you might no longer be able to use a phone for this layer. And like I've said, this is the wow moment. It's not a specific tool, but like a category of same kind of AI tool. And I want you to pay close attention into this layer, because this is the one that will change your relationship with technology. Not just how you work, but what you believe you are capable of. And I'm talking about no-code AI builders, which is very popular as tools for vibe coding. Tools like Lovable, Bolt, Make, and N8N, Codex, and Claude Code. Tools where you describe what you want in plain language, conversationally, the way you would explain it to a smart friend, and see what you want to build pop up on screen. It is not for document, not for summary, but for actual working applications, like an app, like a website, like a system. And I have been thinking about trying these tools for almost a year. A full year of being curious and scared at the same time. And my friends kept saying, just try it. And I kept finding reasons not to. And then one day, I just did. And what came back was something that I built. Something that would have required months of learning code before AI existed. Something that I have made by describing what I wanted. And you know, when I saw it appear, the feeling that I had at that moment, that is what I want for you. Not because it's magic, but because it completely resets what you believe is possible for yourself. And here's why your experience matters most in this layer. These tools can generate anything. The question is always, is it actually right? Is it actually good? Does it solve a real problem? Is it what the person on the other end actually needs? And answering those questions will require judgment. And judgment comes from years of knowing the difference between what works and what just looks like it works. A younger person using these tools can move very fast, can create and build tons of things. They too have their own edge. And I want you to focus on your edge as well. And that is your experience, your taste, your judgment, your way of thinking and way of working. Because having those skills and AI is a combination that is rare. And that combination, it is yours. So I do not want this video to be something that you watch, you feel good about, and then you move on without doing anything or acting on it. So here's exactly what I want you to do after you finish watching. Step 1, pick up your phone, go to your App Store or Google Play and download ChatGPT. Create a free account. Step 2, give ChatGPT this exact prompt. I work, and then state what your field is. I am in my 40s and I want to use AI to make my work better and smarter. What are 3 specific things you can help me with this week? And read what it says and push back on anything that does not fit your reality. Step 3, come back here and tell me in the comment what you want to build. Not what you think you can build, what you actually want to exist in the world. Tell me. I read every comment, and if I can help you figure it out, how to build it, I will. That is it. 3 steps, your phone, 20 minutes, and that is how it starts. And one more thing, and this one is personal. The thing that finally got me past my fear was not a video or a course. It was people. Specific people who were very generous with what they knew, who did not make me feel behind for asking questions, who said just try it, and they really meant it. I have a community of people who are learning AI right now at different levels, from different backgrounds, figuring it out together. The link is in the description. It is a place to ask questions, share what you are building, and find the people who will tell you, just try it. Because that is what this channel is all about. Not the tools, not the techniques, the permission to start, and the people who give it to you. And you have mine right now. Whatever you want to build, start today. Links to everything I mentioned is in the description, ChatGPT, Claude, and the no-code builders. Subscribe if you want to watch this journey in real time, every experiment, everything I build, everything I learn, including the things that do not work. And drop a comment. What do you want to build? What has been sitting in your mind that you have not known how to make real? Tell me. I'm Eden, and never stop learning.